Hi, this is Reena here and welcome to my channel. So today we are going to do a full walkthrough of one of the games by Cyanide Mysteries, Diamond Princess. So this is based on cruise related theme, so quite interesting I would say, where we will be looking at the murder details, we'll be looking at the suspects, and also we'll be investigating the different evidence that has been available to us. Finally, we'll conclude with who the murderer is and let's see if our theories are right. So let's get on this journey together, and if you'd like to check out this particular designer who has multiple different games on different themes, you can do check the link in the description. So let's not wait further and let's jump into the game. Welcome back. So let's start playing this murder mystery. So like you can see on the screen, we have two PDFs. This first one is the introduction and this is 9 pages, whereas the second PDF that we have is around 26 pages. So I think it's going to take a good amount of time, but let's hope we are able to solve the murder. So let's start. What I'll be doing is, I'll be reading this very quickly and probably just finding some keywords which might be useful for us. And let's see how we go about it. So it says, "Dear detective, we are so glad we could reach you. There has been a murder aboard the Diamond Princess cruise ship. The excursion was scheduled to sail from Southampton to Zeebrugge and Amsterdam and return to Southampton, totaling 4 nights. The body was found on the morning of 7th April 2022. So I think this is definitely important. I'll just highlight this, that the body was found on 7th of April. We might need this later on. Let's scroll down. So we have on her morning cleaning round, the maid knocked on the victim's door. Okay, so I think it's the maid who found this body. Let's just highlight this. And after no reply, entered the unlocked cabin. She discovered the body of the victim face down in a pool of his own blood. Her screams alerted the ship's captain, who then reported the crime to the police. The crime scene had been ransacked and several high-value items belonging to the victim appear to be missing." So I guess we should highlight this as well, that several high-value items were missing. Probably that's of some importance. We never know. Okay, so what do we have here? We have a floor plan, okay, of the Emerald cabin where the body was discovered. We have suspect files of 10 people. Okay, wow. So we have 10 people to interrogate, probably. A coroner's report for the deceased, okay, and a case file. Okay, so I think these 3 items are in this particular PDF. Whereas the case file is this case file, because this is titled as case file, so I'm assuming that's how it works. So let's get back. Okay, so we have hints, but we won't be referring to the hints as of now. We also have, okay, so we need to head to this if we want to understand the motive and uncover the truth. At this moment, no. Probably after we finish reading and have our own conclusions, we can go onto this website and check out. Okay, it just says for a killer atmosphere, so I don't think this has any content, probably just the music or something. We can probably skip that as well for now. Okay, so we have the cruise itinerary. Let's check. Okay, so we depart from Southampton on 4th of April. Okay, we arrive at Zeebrugge on 5th of April. Then we depart on the same day. We arrive at Amsterdam. Okay, what time was the body discovered? I'm sorry, I just missed that out. 7th April. All right. So it was a day at the sea. Okay, so I'll just highlight this. So we know that this was the day at the sea when the body was discovered. So we don't know who's killed, right? No, we don't know. Okay, so whoever was killed could have been killed any time, right, before this time. So it could even be last evening or last night of 6th. So we don't know the time of death. Let's just proceed. Okay, so coroner's report, what does that say? Okay, so we got the victim's name here. So Gerald Hurley is the victim. Okay, and how did he die? Okay, his skull had been hit repeatedly with a blunt heavy object. Okay, so blunt force trauma and internal bleeding. Okay, and what else do we find? The victim was found laying face down. Okay, and okay, so he was okay. Anything important? There were no defense wounds. Is this important? I mean, he knew the killer, is it? Probably. I mean, I'm just going to highlight this because it looks strange that he didn't try to defend himself. Okay, the victim had drugs in his system, so maybe. Okay, so probably he wasn't aware of he wasn't conscious when this happened, and possibly. Okay, and estimated, oh yeah, this is important. So estimated time of death will be between, okay, in the night at 9 till early morning 1. All right, so I think we need to keep this in mind. Let's proceed. So we have this floor plan. Okay, let me just zoom out. Okay, so we have the cleaning cupboard, maintenance. There's an empty room over here, okay, opposite to Gerald's. Okay, so I think these might be the suspects that we have. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so 7 and probably 3 more somewhere, and probably not on this floor, we never know. All right, let's move down to the suspects. Okay, so the first suspect is Colin Chambers. Okay, let's just check his details. Okay, he's the ship's captain. Okay, so probably he was the captain, and that's why he did not, his cabin was not reflecting over here, probably. So he stayed aboard the ship, okay, and he was busy organizing dinner in the Sapphire Dining Hall. Okay, that's what he says. And witnesses saw Colin shouting at Allison. So we don't know who Allison is, on 5th of April. That was 2 days before. And then Colin is permanently employed. Okay, so all right. Let's see the next person, Jack Peters. So anything specific here? He's a ship's maintenance engineer, all right. And he began his career in the Navy. He stayed aboard the ship, okay, and he was performing general maintenance. Again, he's also permanently employed. Fair enough. Let's proceed. We have Allison. Okay, I think Allison is the same person who was mentioned here, where Colin was shouting at her for not working hard enough. Okay, so let's see what we have here. She's the ship's maid. Oh, okay, so she was the one who identified that victim, or found out the body. Let's see. So she also stayed aboard the ship, and she was performing her cleaning duties. Witnesses saw Allison being shouting at, agreed, and she's also a permanent employee of this cruise. All right. Then we have Philip Beard. Okay, he's retired. Okay, so he's not any employee of the ship, and he claims, okay, to have visited museums and so on when the ship was docked. He was also on a tour while the ship was docked at Amsterdam, and he made okay, now this is important, he made a formal complaint about Gerald Hurley, claiming he was too loud on an evening. Okay, now we don't know why he was loud, and he complained, so probably something important. He had prescribed sleeping pills for his chronic insomnia. I think let's highlight this as well. I mean, I don't know why they would mention it if it was not important. So let's see. Let's see the next one. Okay, so we have Faye Osborne, and she is a part-time retail assistant. Okay, and she had claimed to go on a self-guided tour. Okay, so we don't have any evidence because she was on a self-guided tour. So okay, And then we have Claire. She's an author. Wow. She was on a chocolate tour, okay, and she also visited Anne Frank house and a hop on and off bus tour in Amsterdam. Okay, so everybody's got some or the other excuse. Let's check Duncan Clark over here. He's a property developer. Okay, so married to Maureen Clark. Okay, we don't know who Maureen is yet. Since 2013, claimed to go on a beer tasting tour in, okay, so hold on, so she is Maureen Clark on the right hand side. I can see the name here. All right, so he was on a beer tasting tour, and he also went on a canal cruise and visit a market with Maureen, but they returned to the ship separately. Now this is important. Why did they return separately? And multiple witnesses claim to see the pair arguing several times during the holiday. Okay, so probably something important. Let's check out his wife, Maureen Clark. So she's the midwife, and she is, okay, obviously married to Duncan, and she initially stayed on the ship, okay, and then claimed to go for sightseeing. Then she claimed to go on the canal cruise and also visit a market. So I think this is common for both, I guess. So, but they returned to the ship separately. We are aware about that. And yes, the witnesses have claimed to see the pair arguing. This is also common. So let's see the next two. Oh, this is page 9 of 9. So we completed how many suspects? There were 10, right? So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow, we went really fast. Let's check out the last two. So we have Sajid Ahmad, and he's a CEO, okay, of a successful tech company, 10 Tech Co. Okay, he was staying aboard the ship, all right, and around the pool, that is, and then he went to visit museums. Okay, all right, so that's what he has to say. What about Natalia Price? She is saying she's an heiress, and while the ship docked, she also took a self-guided tour. Okay, and she claimed to visit the museums. So if she is visiting these museums, she could have probably met Sajid as well, because he had visited similar museums, and even Claire, right? Yeah, and Frank house. So I don't know, I mean, if they met there or they didn't meet there, but anyways, probably. So we're done with the first document, and we got a fair idea about our suspects right now. And let's just hop onto the case file and see what we have over there. Okay, so let's start with the case file. So I'm just going to zoom this. Sorry. Okay. All right. So we have an email which says inquiry from Maureen to fostering agency. Okay. And she says that I've been thinking about fostering for a while now and just wanted to inquire about the process. Okay, so is this what she has been arguing with her husband? We never know. She says, I'm 42, my husband and I never had children, and I'm just quickly going through it this actually. And she's just appreciating the agency for the amazing work they've been doing, and she wants to go about starting the process. Oh, this is important. It says, there's just one thing I haven't told my husband about wanting to foster. So probably the arguing is not about this. We don't know what it is about, but anyways, she says I need to have with him at some point the conversation. He's been busy and working lately, and I haven't seen much of him lately. Okay. And she also knows that I also wanted to know, do you get many people with the same problem where couples can't agree about their stance on having children? So probably they have been arguing about this. We never know. Let's move to the next one. Okay, so we have a bank account here. Faye Osborne. Okay, so Faye was, we did see Faye, right? Or did we see, or we missed it? Yeah, we did. So she was a part-time retail assistant, Faye Osborne. Okay, and she was on a self-guided tour. So let's go back. Okay, so opening balance is this, and payments in, oh, she had a good amount of payment, and closing balance is 35,000. So where did this money come from? Received from NL. What is this? So this is something that we need to think about. Probably, I don't know. I mean, probably somebody asked her to murder him and transferred the money. Possibly, we never know. So let's see. Okay, so a little something to think about. Okay, now we have this. What is this? Is this a letter? Yeah, this is. Okay, this is a witness statement. I don't know who she is, but anyways, we can just read this. I was running errands in Amsterdam city center on the 6th of April, and okay, so 6th of April was, I think they were, where were they? Okay, so they were at Amsterdam on 6th of April, and okay, so when she noticed, and this was around 4:30, so probably the ship was docked at that time, and she noticed her local pharmacist hurrying towards the De Wellen area, known to most at the red light district. Okay, and she decided to follow him. He met with the woman. She was short and had blonde hair. I didn't get a great look. Okay, the pharmacist didn't notice. I saw the woman hand my pharmacist wad of money, and in return he gave her a paper bag. Okay, and she saw a woman leave in the direction of the port. So there was no suspect who was a pharmacist. So whoever this pharmacist is, he met with a girl who, or a woman who then left for in the direction of the port. So I think this lady is one of our suspects. Okay, but we don't know who she is. I didn't think too much about it, but then she heard about the murder. Okay, and she thought about giving her statement to the police. All right, so we don't know who this lady is. It can be anyone, so I'm just going to highlight this because it might be important at a later stage. Let's scroll down. Okay, academic probation status. This is for Natalia Price. So we have Natalia. Where do we have her? Yo. Okay. Let's check out. So it has come to the university's attention that you've been involved in an inappropriate relationship with Professor Matthew Bannister, lecturer in early medieval studies, and we will be conducting a full investigation into the matter in the coming months. Oh, okay. So is she like asked to leave the college or the university? And professor has not denied the allegations. He has been suspended. Okay, and your actions go against our student code of conduct, so we have been forced to place you under academic probation for the rest of the academic year. All right, and when the investigation is complete, we will inform you of the board's decision about your future at this university. Okay, so it has been okay. So we have to think about her as well. I mean, we don't know who complained about her, right? Probably it is the person who's dead and he complained. We never know. So let's just check this out later. Okay, this is a crime scene report. Okay, and this is room number 8. Yeah, and it's a homicide. So what do we find here? Sorry. So is a wrench containing blood belonging to Gerald Hurley. Okay, a debit card belonging to Faye. Okay, what is Faye's debit card doing here? Surprising. There's a blonde wig. Okay. 4 empty bottles of bleach. Okay. Did you notice one thing? There's a lot of counterfeit material here. Okay. So, and these bags and all are all hidden in a hidden compartment in the wardrobe. Wow. So was he killed for that? You never know. But then the suspect should even know him from before, right? Because otherwise, how would the suspect know he's carrying all this? So we don't know. Okay, let's continue. So we have a mail from Bradley to Sajid. Sajid was also one of the suspects. Here, this one. Okay, so Sajid, I hope no one's monitoring these emails. You meant to be the big boss at 10 Techco, but it seems someone else is running the show here. I got when that a certain board member is trying to get you out of the company. Okay, why is this in italics? Linda told me that you know who has been to see each board member in secret and is going to hold a vote of no confidence in you. He hasn't been to see me yet, probably because he knows I'm on your side. So this guy, Sajid, is aware about who the board member is, who's probably talking behind his back. You have to stop him. He thinks he knows all about your business, okay? And he's got so much money, he probably doesn't care. Okay, and he likes to destroy people for fun. You have to do something. Get the backing of your board members, get him out. He should have never been on the board in the first place. Okay, so somebody, Bradley rather, is warning Sajid to take care of this board member. But we don't know if Gerald is that board member or it's somebody else. So let's check it out. So this is a boarding pass. Okay. So she was on a 14-day adventure on a cruise which visited so many destinations. Okay, I don't know why this is so important, because she was suspended, right, from the university, or kept on hold rather, till the investigations were done. So is she like enjoying her life till then? We never know. Okay, so we have an audio transcript from Sapphire Dining Hall, and this is dated 5th April at 5:30 in the evening. Okay, so let's probably quickly go through this. What do they say? Due to a system malfunction, the CCTV video files have been damaged, but the detectives were able to extract the audio, okay, and mark the suspects' entrances and exits. Okay, so how long is this? Okay, it's 2 pages. Probably we can read it quickly. Alright, so Gerald says there's some riff-raff in the rest of our cabin. Some of them think we are on a booze cruise. Claire, Gerald, like that's one there, Faye, she's dirt poor. Went around, oh okay. So, let's just check who all are there together. So we have Gerald, Claire and Sajid. Oh, Sajid enters here. Okay. So we just have Claire and Gerald, and he's talking about Faye that she's dirt poor. Okay. So strange. I mean, he's talking about people behind their back. Okay, and she's wearing a charity shop dress. Okay, so Claire says, how could she afford? Oh, so he says, won it in a raffle, or so I've heard. Okay, then Sajid enters, and he greets him saying, this is Sajid, the CEO. Ah, look at this. So he is the board member who probably wants Sajid out. Okay. Then he says, the lady who cleans our cabin, Allison, she's not very good. I found a hair under the bed yesterday, but I know she needs the job desperately, as she sends the money back to help her naughty son. Okay, so he's talking about her as well. And he knows about her son. Oh, she asked, this was the exact question I had in my mind. How do you know all these things? And then Jack and Colin enter. Okay. So Jack and Colin are the maintenance guy and the ship's captain. Then he says, okay, I have my ways, everything's smooth sailing. Alright, Jack says, okay. So that was his wrench. So this is missing, okay. And Colin says probably somebody was staying at the boat this morning stole it. And Cheryl says not me. Claire says we'll keep an eye out. Jack says cheers. Jack exits. Philip enters. Philip was the retired guy. Okay, so seriously, so I think he's like messing up with everyone, honestly speaking, so then Philip is like, I barely got any sleep, everyone's coming back in the night, so it was a nightmare. Okay, and my room's right next to the door, so okay. Then Gerald says, I bet it was little Miss Natalia coming back very late, sneaking out of the maintenance cupboard. She lusts after every older man she sees. Watch yourself, Sajid, and even you, Philip. No respect for herself at all. Okay, so basically he's talking bad about her also, that she does not have any respect and so on. I think everyone hates him probably, and they should, based on what he's being gossiping around. Okay, I heard she had an affair with a university professor, so he was aware about it. Probably he was the one who complained, we never know. Okay, so Philip is, I think, bored. He says, I need a drink. Sajid also, Claire also. And then Philip, Sajid and Claire exit. So Colin is still here and he says, maybe you should keep the gossip about our stuff to a minimum. And I believe he's right, in fact. So Gerald says, would you like me to gossip about you instead? I know a few things I could say. Okay. So now he knows things about the captain as well. Alright. He says, and he says like, okay, purses clutch cheap as cheap chips, right? Okay. So if you ever tell anyone about my business, okay. And Maureen enters. Okay, so Gerald says, Maureen, isn't it? Where's your husband? Just at the bar. He'll be back in a minute. At the bar, of course. Excuse me? He's never away from the thing. Wouldn't make a very good father, but kids aren't everything. In fact, go speak to Faye. Single mother to 2 kids and not a penny to her name. See if she regrets her decision. Okay, so he is also talking bad about him, basically. And then Gerald says, there's the man now. Okay, so Duncan is her husband, Maureen's, and he enters along with Sajid. Okay, so that's it. So I think this stops over here and let's go back. So we have a criminal record for Duncan. He is the husband. And what is it for? Possession of a controlled drug class A. Okay, but this was back in July 2007. Okay, so long back. Okay, so we have fingerprints. I don't know if that's going to be important later. So then we have this letter to Jack. Okay, so Jack is the maintenance guy. Let's read it. Says, I don't know how to tell you this, but I'm going to Boston for university. I want nothing more than to stay here with you, but my father forbids it. He says it would be an insult to his legacy if I married a common man, but he doesn't care that his legacy is cruel, malicious and deceitful. I never even told him about your proposal. He must have found out some other way. I'm starting to think he threw your application to Southend in the trash. He has connections in admissions after all. Even if he wasn't shipping me off to Boston, I'm scared you would make your life a living hell if I ever saw you again. I might be half a world away in Boston, but I'll never stop thinking about you, Jack. You will remain in my heart forever and always. Yours forever, Daisy Hurley. So who's Daisy Hurley? Hold on. Wasn't his surname Gerald Hurley? Wow. So I think he is the father. So Daisy could not be with Jack because her father had sent her away to Boston and didn't want her to marry him. So wow. So Jack also has something against this guy. Great. All right. Let's see what we have here. Okay, we have a newspaper article. So I'm not going to read this in detail, but I'm just checking if there's anything important over here that we should know. So guess okay, his deductions. I think I'll have to only look into it because if we miss out something, it might be important. So okay, he is the unlikely hero. Okay, by solving a string of local misdemeanors. And why is he? His uncanny ability to guess the specific details of the crimes has proven instrumental in bringing the perpetrators to justice. Okay. So he has the knack for uncovering the truth. Okay. And he was able to solve a lot of crimes probably. And many of the victims affected by these crimes offered Mr. Hurley money as a reward, but he decided to donate it to charity. Okay. Okay, look at this. It says something here. An unnamed individual wrote to the authorities and claimed that Gerald was spying on them and then blackmailed them when he discovered a secret that he could use. Wow. So I think that was one of the reasons he could complain about the professor and Natalia that time, probably. And he was probably spying at Sajid also, who was the CEO. Maybe Duncan and Maureen also, we never know. But why would he do that, and how come all of them would land up in the same cruise? So it's a little uncertain. But I think that's what they're trying to say. Um, okay, I think this is the only important aspect, I guess, of this page. So we can move ahead. Okay, so this is a dear diary letter. So 5th of April. So that means it was on the ship. I'll just zoom this. Okay. So there's some. So do we know? Okay, we don't know who's writing this. Okay. So I feel like I'm trapped in a cage that I can never escape from. All the money I earn from this exhausting cleaning job. Okay, so if it's cleaning job, it has to be Allison, right? The maid. So goes to Bobby and Maria. I thought Bob's was putting in it towards getting a proper job so he can provide for his own family, but now I'm not so sure. He told me he would stop selling drugs once he left prison. I'm his mum. Of course, I want to believe him, but I also wasn't born yesterday. I overheard one of the guests on the ship talking about my naughty Bobs, about me sending him money. So I think it's about her son Bobby. I'm just going to highlight this, that she heard Gerald talking, right, about Bobby. He was talking that he's got a naughty son and she has to keep sending him money. And he says, how did he know and why is it any of his business? At the end of the day, I'm a mother first, everything else second. I will protect my children and make sure nothing happens. Wow, now this is a very strong statement. Bobby can't go back to prison. Doesn't matter how this guest knew about Bobby. I'll make sure no one will ever find out. Okay. Let's check it out. Okay, so we have another audio transcript. This is 6th April at 6:20. So if I remember, what time was the death? Yeah, it's the same night. So I think something in the conversation happens and or somebody decides to go and murder him. And how long is this conversation? So we have 1, 2. Okay, so we have 2 pages, which is quite manageable. Let's just quickly see anything important. Okay, so it says the same thing: due to a system malfunction, the CCTV videos have been damaged, but they were able to extract the audio. Alright. So Gerald says, I've just received a very strange letter under my door. Clearly, I've rubbed some people up the wrong way. Faye enters. Has anyone seen my bank card? Oh yeah, we did see that the debit card was found right in Gerald's cabin. So maybe that's important. Okay. I can't have it. It can't have had any money on it anyway. So that's very taunting actually. Then Claire says Jack said something of his went missing. Okay, was it went or wrench? I think it's wrench missing. Funny stuff, I'll look out for it. So Faye says thank you, Claire. Okay. So Gerald, you will never guess who I saw down the red light district. Natalia Price. I wonder what she was doing. I tried to follow her, but she was just too quick. It was very seedy. Philip says, bet you love that, Gerald, all the seedy stuff. Gerald is I, and Maureen is like, I'm just nipping to the toilet. Maureen exists. Philip, the food's a bit cold today, isn't it? Have they served a hot meal yet? Gerald to Duncan, texting the secretary as soon as the wife's gone. You are a risky man. Wouldn't want her to find out about all your little secrets. Wow. So, he knows about an affair that this husband Duncan is having, and obviously he would not want Maureen to know about the secrets. So let's see. And then Gerald, Natalia, there you are, very sneaky today. She says you're pathetic. I saw you following me. If you must know, I was helping a friend. She lost all her money and ended up working there, and I wanted to save her from creeps like you. Now you don't have any dirt on me again. Okay. Then screams and crashes come from the kitchen. Now why is this important? We never know. What's going on? Is the kitchen on fire? Well, at least the food will be hot. Wow. So Colin enters. Colin is the ship's captain. No need to panic. The chef burned some toast. My sincerest apologies. You can all resume your meals. Okay. Then Maureen is like, what happened? Duncan says, just a false alarm. Claire, it's all very quiet now. Gerald looks like he's going to be sick. And Gerald is not feeling too good. Okay, so did he have something that he started feeling sick? Did we have anything here that whether he was drinking, eating? No, so Philip just says that the food is a bit cold, right? And that's it. I don't think there was anything related to food here. Okay. Alright, so Maureen continues. Oh, he needs to go back to his cabin. Come on, Duncan. Philip is, I'll help you. Might actually get some sleep tonight if this blabbermouth is out cold. Sajid is like, do you need our help? No, it's alright. It'll be alright. Then Claire says, well, I can't say I'm anything but relieved. Insufferable, isn't he? I hope I never see that snake again. Wow. So, Sajid, you got to be careful. Gerald was friends with my husband, Sebastian, years ago. They went into business together, built it from the ground up. One day out of the blue, he took the whole business for himself. Very soon after, Sebastian had a fatal heart attack. Oh. And it was long time, but I do believe Gerald killed my husband and I'll never forget that. Okay, and end of the transcript. Wow. So everybody has an issue, right, with this person. Okay, let's check Duncan Clark's mobile phone. So do we have anything? Okay, these are the messages during the cruise from 5th of April. So is everything okay? Okay, how mom? Okay, all good. Weather's been nice. Said. So 27 is his mom. Sorry. And 22, we don't know who 22 is yet. Then we have 64, miss you so much. Okay. So probably 64 is the person he's having an affair with. Says miss you too. Maureen is doing my head in LOL. Wish you were here instead. Okay. And then goes on with 64. Wants to go on a chocolate tour. I said she doesn't need to eat many chocolates and she got mad. Okay, so he just discussing about her with this person 64. Okay. Then they were on a call for 16 minutes. Got counsel. Oh, look at this. I don't know if someone heard our phone call yesterday, but so somebody on the boat threatened me. So I think this is Gerald for sure, because he wants to know everyone's secrets so that he can end up being the hero as mentioned in the newspaper article. And he said something about her not wanting to find out what secrets are got hidden. So it is 100% Gerald. Okay, that could be anything. No, he knew 100%. Wow. So she says, Duncan, you have to do something and you have to stop him. Okay. So why do I feel it's like, everyone against him? So probably it's Duncan also, we never know. We have this BBC News article, British University at the center of poison pen letter scandal. Okay. And this is 27th February, so this is before the cruise. So what does this say? That some defamatory letters were anonymously sent to senior members of Southern's Board of Governors regarding an undisclosed member of staff. Within 24 hours, the contents of the letters were posted online. The member of staff was accused of stalking students, spreading rumors with malicious intent, and attempting to gain information in order to blackmail people. Okay, the venomous letters cast a shadow over the university's long-standing commitment to fostering a respectful and inclusive environment. The university has denied all the allegations, and the police have been contacted to find and prosecute the authors of these poisoned pen letters. Okay. So again, we don't know who has sent these letters. So let's probably move ahead. Okay, so we have Bill Watkins, and who has sent this? What is this? This is from the forensic chemistry unit. Okay, so thank you for sending us a sample of the drug. Okay, I think Bill Watkins was this guy. Why do I remember seeing him? Reading that name. Was he the guy? No, he was here. So we are on page 18. I remember when we were looking at the evidences. Oh no, this is somebody else. Sorry, my bad. I just thought the names were similar. So it was Barry Wiggins, and let's just come back to where we were. Okay. So thank you for sending us a sample of the drug found in Gerald Hurley's system during the post-mortem examination. We have received the results from the lab, which concludes that the substance was okay. So I think this is a letter which has come from the forensic unit to us, telling us like what drug was used, and because of the drug, it was like a treatment for chronic insomnia. So if I remember, it was a retired guy who had some prescribed medication for insomnia, and there are no records of them being prescribed to Gerald, which makes sense. And it dissolves quickly and easily when dropped into a liquid. Okay, so he was drinking something probably, and that's when he probably had this. So we don't know who gave him the drink. We were also able to determine that the drug was ingested around 3 to 5 hours before his death. So if his death took place at, between 9 to 1. So if we remember the audio message, right, when he started feeling uneasy. Yeah, so this was 6:20. So probably he just had that, and then 7, 8, 9, 20, so 10:20. So maybe that's the time he died, and he started feeling unwell. Okay. Alright, so I'm just going to highlight this. Okay, let's scroll down. It says, okay, what is this? Is this a letter? I don't know why we have this, but it says, I'm as light as a feather. but even the strongest people struggle to hold me for more than 5 minutes. Which one am I? Okay, I don't know actually. Probably we'll just come back to this in some time. Let's scroll down. Okay, so we have another letter from a consulting forensic psychologist. Let's just check. So, dear Bill Watkins, thank you for employing our services. So, okay, so these are psychological services. And what is it telling us regarding the homicide aboard the Diamond Princess cruise ship? Our team has reviewed the forensic evidence found at the scene as well as the manner of death and created an offender profile. Okay, so this is mainly about a profile. Okay. Despite taking place in international waters, we have taken a UK-centric viewpoint to this crime since the victim was from UK and the ship where the crime occurred was registered in the UK. Okay, so 93% of convicted killers in England and Wales are male, so it's more likely that the perpetrator is one of the male suspect. However, there is no evidence to rule out a female one, so the victim, because oh right, so the victim was already drugged, right? So it could even be a female. So you don't need a lot of force to actually hit the person on the skull. Okay, and the team was quick to point out the brutality of the crime. Mr. Hurley was already drugged and he could have been suffocated with a pillow easily. But still, the murderer chose to hit the victim, right, with a blunt object multiple times to create a very messy crime scene. So, if he just wanted to silence the victim or kill him for financial or other gain, it would be unusual for them to choose such a bloody method of murder. Okay. So, this is important that the killer was harboring emotions such as long-standing resentment, bitterness, or jealousy. I think this is quite an important statement because if, for example, if I look at Sajid, right? I mean, I'm just taking one example. If he would have murdered this guy, he would have just ensured that he's killed, right? So that he doesn't, go to the board of directors and ask them to remove this guy from his position. Why would he keep killing him multiple times, hit him so that the messy crime scene is found? So I mean, we can kind of rule him out also. Okay, as the crime was premeditated, yeah, so I think this is important. The crime was premeditated. So definitely that murderer knew that he was supposed to go and have the drug in place to basically make him unconscious, and so this wasn't a crime of passion. So I'm just thinking, like the maid, right, Alison. I don't think she did it because she heard it on the boat that he's talking about her and her son, right? So it wasn't something that was done last minute. It was something which was planned. So I don't think it is Alison as well. So we hope this profile will help you in uncovering the identity of the victim. Okay, and we wish you all the best. Let's go here. What is this? Congratulations, you won. Hold on. So is this the same 35,000 that we saw in Faye's account? So we're on page 21. Yo, received from NL 35,000. And is this NL somehow? I don't know what is NL, but at least so I think this is the same amount that has been transferred to her. So there is nothing suspicious about her basically at the moment, and she was poor as well as per what Gerald had said. So now she's become rich, and this was on 6th of April. Did she receive this on 6th of April? Yes, this was on 6th of April. So yes, I think my suspicion is reduced for this lady right now. So okay, so we are on 21. Let's move to 22. Oh, what is this? Let me just zoom out. So making money dealing drugs, selling fake designer goods, cheating husbands, loyal mothers, you're always spilling the secret of others. An age-old love from long ago. You ruin lives wherever you go. Humility is something you lack. From now on, you should watch your back. Knife to the heart or bullet to the head. You'll pay for everything you said. I know more than most how it feels to have your biggest secret revealed. The worst days of my life were all because of you. Just know, Gerald, your remaining days are few. Wow. So I think this was the note Gerald was talking about some time back in an audio conversation, right, that he received. So I mean, he did mention here, right, somewhere. See, I received a very strange letter under my door. So this is the letter, and I think, do we have to do anything over here, or is it just mapping? Because if I see something like here, an age-old love from long ago. This is Jack, right, the maintenance guy. Then cheating husbands, loyal mothers. It's Duncan and Maureen, I guess. Then selling fake designer goods. I think this is the captain, because if you remember, in the first conversation that was shown here, Colin, he's talking about branded purses, clutches, etc. And he says, if you ever tell anyone about my business. So probably he's into these kind of goods. But then, okay, so I'm just thinking a little bit more here, that when we were on this evidences, right, so it says hidden compartment in the wardrobe. So all these were fake items, and so these fake goods were actually in a hidden compartment. Did they even belong to Gerald, or I don't know what to say after the or? Let's scroll down and see, maybe. Okay, so when we come here, so first one, making money dealing drugs, looks like Colin to me. The captain, this one is Duncan and Maureen. This is Jack. Humility, something you lack. I don't know, it can be probably Faye, or I don't know. Knife to the heart or bullet to the head, you'll pay. I think it's not mapping one to one with everyone, just probably a brief. Then we have a lighter found in the kitchens adjacent to the sapphire dining room. Okay, does this say anything? No idea. Is it an anagram for something? So we have ARGYLL. Not that I can think of. Okay. I don't know how that's useful, but probably in some way. Okay, so what do we have here? Star sign, suspect, number. Okay, skin cell DNA from blonde wig found in room 8. Room 8 was his room where his dead body was found. And yeah, we did have a blonde wig, but we don't know whom it belonged to. It could belong to anybody, right? Because anybody can wear a wig. So, and then we say we have something here. Okay, let's read this. So the forensic team has found a skin cell on the blonde wig found in room 8. Not wanting to discriminate, they acquired DNA samples from both the male and female suspects. However, the suspect samples were mixed up in the lab. When giving the samples, the suspects were lined up in a row from 1 to 10. Surprisingly, when giving their dates of birth to investigators, the suspects found that they all had different star signs. Match the correct suspect sample to the DNA found on the wig at the crime scene. Then figure out which sample belongs to which suspect using the clues. Okay. So I think it's more like a logic deduction puzzle. We have the suspect star signs, we have the clues here, and then we have the DNA. I think we have to find out, no, 1 second, we have to find out what? Skin cell from the DNA. No, so one second, I'm just a little confused here. So we have 1 to 10 people. So let's assume we have all the suspects here, and let's assume we have the star signs here, right? After that, what do we have to do? Because we know that we found the wig in room 8. So was it mentioned anywhere that the writer while giving the suspects match the correct suspect sample to the DNA? Okay, the wig at the crime scene. Then figure out which sample belongs to which suspect using the clues below. Okay, I think let's solve this, and then probably we'll get an idea about what to do next. Right, so let's start with this. So let's just give these names. So we have the midwife, so she was Maureen. Alright, so I think we are good with this, and let's proceed with back to our PDF screen and see what we have to do next. Alright, so we're back after solving that puzzle. So I think so it says skin cell DNA from the blonde wig was found here. Okay, so this is the DNA from the scene. I think we have to compare it with the person. So this is not the same, this is not the same. Nope. Nope. Yeah, this looks same, number 5. So it belonged to number 5. Let's just see who was number 5. I just need to go back and check number 5. Just give me a minute. So number 5 was, oh, Natalia. So she was the one who probably entered his cabin, and the motive was definitely because somebody had sent that letter, right? Where did that go? Yeah, academic probation status. So I believe that was the reason that she wanted to kill. Um, is there anything else that? Okay, but I don't know what was this hidden compartment. I think it was just related to the ship's captain and his secret, probably. Maybe he's being on the ship for a lot of time, so he does this business in illegal goods, the duplicate ones, probably. So I think it was just for a motive, but his DNA was not found in the room, so I'm sure he did not kill. And I guess it was her. I mean, she had the motive, of course. She also had the means. She probably stole that wrench from the, I think, either the captain or from the maintenance guy. I guess the maintenance guy. And opportunity, obviously she was on the ship, so what did she say? Okay, in the night anyways they were going to be there. So but I just don't understand one thing: how did she poison the drink? So was she in the same room? So this was at 6:20, and did she? Yeah, she did enter. So probably she entered, and at that point of time, yeah, she entered, and maybe that's when she drugged him, and that's where he probably had. So okay, so this is what I feel. If you have some other theories, also I think we had this one cipher which I did not really solve, so I don't know how important it is, but I'm very sure, I mean, if we could find out who the blonde was, then was wearing the wig, I think that would be the answer, unless it's something else. So if you want to just pause on this and try to solve it on your own, feel free to do that. Was there something else that we did not solve? I think this was just a letter. I don't think it was any puzzle as such. Um, okay, so we did find this lighter also, right? I mean, does this have any importance? No clue. And it was found in the kitchen, so we don't know, but anyways, I'll still go with Natalia doing it. And so I'm just going to pause this video, and I'm going to open the reveal website, and then I'll just share it back, and let's see what the conclusion is. So stay tuned. Alright, so let's read the reveal together. I just clicked on this link, so let's see what we have. Okay, so dear detective, congratulations, you made it to the end of the case file and have discovered the identity. Thanks to you, Jack Peters and Natalia Price. Oh, so there were two people involved, and Jack was the maintenance guy, if you remember, and they have been arrested. The witness, Alicia, saw Natalia wearing a blonde wig, bribing her pharmacist. Ah, okay. So you remember it was mentioned that somebody handed, I mean not somebody, a pharmacist handed a bag to one of the women who then went towards the port. So I think that had the drug in it, and so on the evening of 6th of April, Natalia slipped the drug into his drink, which rendered him unconscious. I think this is something we guessed correctly. The entire room was distracted. Okay, as her accomplice Jack started a fire in the kitchen. I remember this happening because if you remember, there was some smoke coming out and there was some loud noise in the kitchen. So unfortunately, he left his lighter behind. Okay, so maybe there was something in his statistics that were provided which spoke about the company of the lighter or something. We might have missed it, or maybe his photograph where he was probably shown smoking. I don't know, we'll have to check that. So later that evening, okay, so they both killed him. Wow. and he lied about it being stolen earlier. Okay, and they also stole the high value items to cast suspicion away from them. Okay, and their motive was revenge. Okay, so Gerald had accused them significantly uh, hurt separately in the past, so they decided to team up and pay him back for his actions. Okay, and he had spread the rumor. Oh, so it was a rumor, it probably wasn't even the truth, right? And also he had stopped Jack from seeing his daughter. This is something we had guessed, it's just that we didn't know there were two people involved. He had also rejected Jack's university application, ruining his future prospects. Okay, the two met when Natalia took a trip aboard the Diamond Princess cruise ship in February. There was this one boarding pass that was presented to us where she was on a 14-day long adventure, and they had a conversation about the university and realized their shared hatred for the institution and also for Gerald Hurley. Okay, all right. So they sent out a number of poison pen letters to the university. There was one evidence, if we remember, but we didn't know who was the sender. So they were the people who were sending, and they were talking about getting rid of this guy. They used, okay, and to clean the rest with bleach, okay, along with Natalia's blonde wig, okay, and okay, so they were trying to frame Faye as well for this murder, and thinking that the investigators would arrest Faye. Okay, and and roommate was also Captain Column's secret hiding place. Okay, so probably even he would have got caught. And then we have several other developments. So even Colin was arrested on the suspicion. Okay, this is surprising and sad. He didn't even murder anybody there. And police are looking for Bobby, who's the son of Allison. Okay, and Duncan and Moran have made a decision to file a divorce since the incident. Wow. So pretty interesting, I would say. Something that I think we were partially correct in this, but I had fun and I hope you liked it as well. So if you like these kind of games, do visit the link in the description and you can have a look at the other games from this designer as well. So go ahead and stay tuned for similar other games in the future. Thank you so much for watching.